Hey everybody, welcome to the Hall H Show. I'm your host, Nabus, and I am back with Mr. Rylend Grant. How you doing?
How you doing, guys?
We just got done with his panel. What was your panel called?
It was getting your first comic published.
Right. I think that's an important thing not only for myself, because I eventually want to get my comic book published.
Sure.
But I think I highly recommend that panel to almost anyone that I know who's thinking about putting on a book.
Yeah, well, here's the thing is, a few years back, I was a screenwriter, but I had no idea what I was doing, comic-wise. I was sitting in panels like this, and I was just getting bad info.
Right.
All the info wasn't out there, and so I just, I found some creator friends. We compared notes, and I tried to very succinctly sort of, put together the best information, the most pertinent information, and hopefully it inspires some people to create some books.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I guess we'll go a little bit into the panel later, but I first want to get into your book, Aberrant. Last time I had you on the show, you were talking about it at LA Comic-Con 2017.
Yeah, it was sort of just on the horizon then.
Yeah.
It is actually it went into previews like 2 days ago. So the previews for the uninitiated is the catalog from which comic shops order their stock. So you can literally walk into a comic shop right now and say, "Hey, I want this amazing comic book Aberrant by Rylend Grant." And not only do you need to order me a copy, you should order 25 other copies, because everyone who walks in your door is going to want this thing because it's awesome.
What you got there in your hand right there?
I have a couple of things in my hand. The first thing I have is I have the ordering information, and we'll get to that in a minute. I feel like an idiot. But so there is the regular version of the cover. Variants are big right now. People love to collect variants, and so our first issue variant, if you can see, is a Billy D. Williams Colt 45
That's pretty dope.
variant. Yeah, we have our first celebrity endorsement, as Billy will tell you, and Billy is actually holding the regular version of the comic, which I think is kind of humorous. And as well, I should say, for legal reasons, this isn't Billy D. Williams. This is William D. Williams. But as William is telling us, Aberrant works every time.
There you go.
Not just once or twice. It works every time. So and so if you want to order it, you can just get on previewsworld.com, I think is the website, or you can get your previews catalog. If you just walk into your comic shop and say, "Hey, I want Aberrant," but the order numbers for the regular APR 181190. The ordering info for the variant, the William D. Williams, I should say.
William D. Williams.
APR 181191. So do me a solid, go and order it. You won't be disappointed. It's a badass ride.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I know in the panel that we're going to talk about in just a little bit, you sort of recommend that people pitch the way David Popose pitches his book, Spencer and Locke. I guess for Aberrant, do you want to go ahead and throw out your pitch?
My pitch, Aberrant is a military-slanted 3 Days of the Condor if there was a superpowered badass waiting around every corner to ambush the protagonist. That's as cleanly and quickly as I can do it.
Okay.
So very much, if I can expand on that, like David went ahead and did, it's kind of a 70s paranoid spy thriller sort of thing. We've seen them recently, like Michael Clayton or Enemy of the State. But it really taps into those kind of like edgy, cool, paranoid, 70s films.
Cool.
It's one of those kind of come to life in a comic book form, but again, with superpowered badasses everywhere. Yeah.
Are you still peppering in little some of your favorite music tunes in there?
Oh yeah. That's a really good point. Is Aberrant, unlike most any book. Here's the thing: is music, like popular music, it's very hard to clear. It took me months to clear these songs. It costs a lot of money. So most people don't do it. You don't see any popular music. The first issue of Aberrant has 3 badass popular music songs. It's almost like I tried to make it a filmic book. It's almost like a soundtrack on a movie or a TV show. Really kind of pulls you through. And then the next, 4 issues, they're actually titled according to a popular song.
Okay.
And that song is featured very prominently. So it's a lot of fun. I mean,
cool.
You're going to pick up this book. It's not going to be what you're used to, and hopefully you like it. hopefully that's a good thing.
I'll be looking out for the Spotify playlist.
Excellent. Yeah, that's a really good idea, actually. That's a really good way to promote it. Yeah. Look for it on Spotify. I'm not on Spotify yet, but this guy's going to tell me how to do it.
There you go. We are at WonderCon 2018 in Anaheim, California. You just got done with your panel.
Yes, I did.
Let's go ahead and talk about that, because this is the second time that I saw it, and I'm still blown away because you brought some new material in, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I just, here's the thing is, like, I don't do much at these panels. I find really smart creators, and I just kind of get out of the way, and I just try to sort of throw them alley-oops and watch them dunk and watch them. We have now done this, I think this is the third time we've done it. Okay. We did it in Long Beach, and we did it at Stan Lee's Comic-Con, and we did it here, and hopefully we're doing it at Comic-Con in San Diego in July.
Cool.
A month after Aberrant is in comic book stores everywhere.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, here's the thing is, I think I've said this to you before, but I have been, a couple of years ago, I was sitting in a panel like this, trying to figure out how to make a comic book. I had no idea what I was doing. I knew how to tell a story. I was a screenwriter, and I had been around the block for a few years, but all the information I was getting was bad. And so I just tried to, I tried to find people who knew and put together the pertinent information, and I tried to, sort of boil it down to about a 40-minute presentation that people could swallow really easily, and hopefully it inspires some people to make some books.
I think so. I mean, judging by the people that were talking to you after the panel.
Yeah, I mean, that's literally the most rewarding thing. Is I get nervous doing these things. I believe it or not, I get up there and I act like an idiot, and it looks easy, but getting up in front of 100 or 200 people is not the easiest thing, and you always wonder how is it going to be how's it going to be received and all that stuff. It's the best thing when you walk out of a panel and there are like 10 or 20 people waiting to talk to you and ask you questions, and they want your info, and we've been doing it long enough now where I'm starting to get the emails from people and starting to get the Facebook messages being like, hey, the book's done, we're submitting it now, and all that stuff, and man, that's awesome, because people did it for me. Hopefully I can do it for some other people, and then hopefully those people can do it for other people, and that's how these books get made.
I think on the last podcast that I had you on, you did make it a point to sort of pay it forward.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only way to it's the only way to be. I mean, there's no reason for competition. Everybody can eat. It's what I learned. It's what I learned in the film business. Is like, 80% of the jobs I've gotten in the film business have come from friends, or people that I helped 5 years ago. They hire me, down the line.
Got it.
You work with the same people over and over and over again, and in comics it's the same way. You need a group of people that are going to lift you up, that are going to note up your scripts, that are going to tell you when something's bad, that are going to tell you when something's great. If you don't have those people, you'll sink. You're out in a really rough ocean. You can't swim every second of the day. Every once in a while, you need somebody to kind of come over and sort of pick you up out of the water when your head dips below. I have those people. I'm lucky enough to have those people. Jeff Leeds, Stephen Prince, Carla Nappi, David Pepos has become a great friend. David Schrader, who was on the panel today, is a new friend, but he's an awesome guy. I consider you a great friend, man. I love what you're doing, and I'm honored to be on the podcast. Here's the thing: so this is my second time. What is the record?
What is the record? That is a good question.
Yeah.
There's been people who've been on twice.
Okay. Because I need to set the record. So every time we see each other, when somebody gets ahead of me and you just tell me, I need to come back and I'll raise my game up. I will write something awesome and I'll blow your mind with it, and so I need to be the leader in the club.
Well, there's somebody who's going to be on the podcast again for the third time, pretty soon. So we'll have to have you on again.
Yeah. Who is he or she? I'll
it's going to be Susan Botello. She's
garbage. No, Susan's great. I'm sorry, Susan. That was a joke. It was a bad joke.
She's awesome, peeps.
Yeah.
I'm actually the brand ambassador for her International Mobile Film Festival.
Oh, awesome.
So
which
is coming up in April.
Cool. Coming up in April.
That's right.
And April is when you can go into your comic shop and order Aberrant. Shameless plug.
That's right. There's nothing shameless about it, because I'll be in line to get that book for sure.
Excellent.
Now, the people that were talking to you after the panel, what are some standout questions that you remember?
God, a lot of times, I mean, the beauty of that is like, so we get up in front of a large group of people, and our presentation is very general. Look, this is what one would do if they create a book and they're trying to get it to a publisher, they're trying to find an artist, all these things. And everyone up there, including me, we're speaking from our own experience. So this is what I did, and so the beauty when we walk out of the panel and these people, sort of, corner us is that, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but when these people come up to us and they answer questions, is those questions are always very specific to their situation. Hey, I have this book, and that's what's awesome is when somebody pulls out an iPad and they're like, hey, look, I just did this book. And my first thing is always like, congrats, man. That's. I mean, there's so many people out there that want to make a book desperately, but they don't think that they have it in them, or they think they can make a book, but they've never done it. Our message in these panels is always, there's no reason in today's market. It's so easy to find artists and collaborators on Facebook. There's no reason why, if you want to make a book, and if you have a good book in you, why you shouldn't be doing it. Right. And so when these people come up and they're like, hey, I made a book, that's awesome. That's
right. All you need is a compelling story.
All you need is a compelling story.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you putting all these panels together.
I hope people come see them, and I hope people read Aberrant, and I hope people listen to the Hall H podcast.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
I've been binging on Hall H recently.
Sweet.
And you guys are coming, man. Like the content's coming out. I'm really excited. I mean, here's the thing: is like there's so few people who are kind of like shining this sort of spotlight on creators like this. It's really hard to get the word out about your book. And you guys find really good people. Every book that you're recommending, every person that you're talking to is interesting. They have an incredible point of view. I really love that. I'm sitting up here as a white guy in my 30s, but I love that also you're finding different voices. That's really part of your mission, and that needs to happen. So many interesting creators with different points of view, coming from a different place, a different angle, and you guys are kind of one of the few people that are really kind of shining the spotlight on those folks. And
I appreciate that.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you for being a supporter of our mission.
Doing God's work, or Joe Boo's work, or Allah's work, or whomever you're.
Well, let's shift the conversation back to you.
Yeah.
I guess we can do a quick thunder round.
Thunder round. Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Can I stretch first?
Yeah, you can stretch. I do stretch too.
Yeah. Thunder round.
All right. Go. So, you have a choice of being a sidekick for a superhero or a villain.
Wow.
Who do you choose and why?
Oh God. Oh man. That's fun. God. You stumped me. Can I just go with my own book? I mean, that's the easy thing to do,
Let's
right?
Go for it, yeah.
I mean, David is kind of he's an awesome hero. Here's the thing is, so David is a special operations commander. Basically he's the equivalent of like a Navy SEAL or an Army Ranger or something like that.
JSOC, right?
Well, it's what JSOC would be if superhumans existed.
Right.
So, thank you for remembering that.
And JSOC was a division that was led by Dick Cheney.
Well,
right?
JSOC was a component command of SOCOM.
Okay.
Basically like a Delta Force team that reported directly to Dick Cheney.
Okay.
But more so to like the executive branch of our government.
Okay.
Because now they report to Donald Trump. Then they reported to Barack Obama before that, and so David is a special operations commander, which is really, the easiest equivalent to a superhero that we actually have in this world, because these guys walk on water. They're superheroes without the capes, I guess.
What about ninjas?
Well, ninjas are awesome too. Yeah. These guys are ninjas. These guys are the closest thing to ninjas. But so anyway, so David discovers, sort of like on a mission that these superpowers manifest. And so Aberrant kind of over 10 issues becomes the story of him sort of learning what that means, coming to terms with having powers, wrestling with the ins and outs of that. I'd love to be there to help him. And he goes through a lot of hard stuff. I'd like to be there to give him a hug when he needs it. I'd like to be there to tell him to get his shit together when he needs, to hear that.
So would you be like the second in command, or what would you be?
Yeah. Okay. Here's the thing is, so in the opening issue, David has his team that he's really close to.
Yeah.
They're his best friends, and they're colorful, awesome, amazing characters. And I don't want to give too much away, but he loses some of his best friends.
Right.
And so maybe I'd step in.
Okay.
Maybe I'd be his new best friend, and because I think he needs that. And I think by the end of the series, he sort of has that. He finds his new place.
Okay.
But
so like in Punisher, in the Netflix show, a little bit, no?
I think that's a reasonable. Yeah, I think that's a reasonable thing. Yeah, it is about this conflicted guy kind of becoming a hero reluctantly. So it's a fair comparison.
Cool. Yeah. You are leading a mission to Mars.
Oh,
nice. What four other people do you bring with you, and why did you pick those people?
God, wow, you're really putting me on the spot here. This is a good question. This is like deep philosophical stuff. We were just talking about David Chang, who is my favorite chef in the world.
Right.
I'm going to bring David Chang because you need somebody to cook you amazing food.
Yeah.
He's a seriously smart guy, so the conversation would never get old. Mm-hmm. And I feel like he's somebody I could just kind of hang with. I would bring my wife because I would miss her. Mm-hmm. I would bring my baby, my 17-month-old girl Naomi, because I would miss her also.
Okay.
How long is this mission? Is it just like a week-long mission? Because I could deal with leaving them if it was a week-long mission, but if we were going to like live on Mars for a while, I would need them.
Let's just say that it's definitely not a vacation.
It's definitely not a vacation, all right. So I'm bringing them, definitely.
Yeah.
Maybe I would also bring David. Can I bring a superhero with me?
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna bring David from Aberrant because some shit's gonna go down on Mars, and so we have the chef, I have my family, and we have a guy that'll
cool.
deal with things.
All right.
Yeah.
And I guess the last question for the Thunder Round will be, if you were president of the United States.
Oh God. We're veering into a dangerous lane here. Yeah.
This is gonna be a tough question.
Yeah. Okay.
What artwork would you hang in the Oval Office?
Wow, that is amazing. I have two favorite. I guess I would just default to the artwork that I have hanging in my house.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of an artist. His name is Mike Mitchell, who does these sort of these pop culture series.
Okay.
One is called Just Like Us, which is almost these kind of like cartoony caricatures of pop culture characters that I really love. Mm-hmm. There's a Saddam Hussein print where it's Saddam Hussein reading Twilight and he's crying.
Oh my gosh.
and it's the ultimate kind of like kick in the junk, fuck you, like ironic twist. Uh-huh. There's another artist I like. His name is Scott C. or Scott Campbell, depending on the time of day or where you find him. Okay. And he does these almost stick figure like watercolor paintings of pop culture characters. He does his website is greatshowdowns.com.
Okay, I'll look that up.
Yeah, and so he goes into like TV shows, movies, and finds like great rivals. Let's say like Johnny and Daniel, and does paintings of them facing off. And we have a lot of work from him too. He's really good. Yeah, Paul Chatham is another great guy you should check out online. So my artwork in the White House, it would be sick. It would be twisted. It would be pop culture based. There'd be a lot of Karate Kid, some Boogie Nights stuff. Some Fargo stuff, maybe somebody getting put through a wood chipper or something like that. I think I think Heads of State would really dig it.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We have another section of the podcast called Superhero Shoutouts. Is there a person or any group of people out there you want to sort of throw a shout out to, because we can't do what we do by ourselves.
Yeah. So shout-outs to collaborators and creators. That's a really interesting thing. I did one on the last podcast, and I don't want to double up. But let me go back to, let me just go down the line. I just became friends with David Schrader, who did a comic called Baby Badass for Action Lab, and it's funny, and it's twisted, and it's sick. It's I was comparing it to like an Andy Sedaris film. I don't know if you know Andy Sedaris from the 80s. It's really a trip. David Pepos is a genius. Spencer and Locke is one of the best books I've read in the last 10 years.
I agree.
you had him on your podcast before anyone else did. You're going to kind of be the guy that broke David Pepos. If David Pepos probably broke himself, but you helped. But in 5 years, Pepos is going to be writing Avengers, and you're going to be like, I need that guy. You and me, we're going to be sitting on the sidelines still talking about the books that we're putting together.
Right.
Carla Nappi is somebody that we always have on the podcasts. Really talented TV writer.
She was pregnant the last time you had her on.
She's pregnant, and she has a beautiful baby boy now. Who's
congrats
wonderful.
to her.
Yeah, congrats to her. Her book Duplicant is going to be out by fall. It's just really good.
Awesome.
Jeff Leeds is a close friend, really smart guy who does a lot of anthology work. Was in the Not Forgotten anthology. And then finally, like shoutouts to my artists who. There's Jambor Huska, who's a Hungarian guy who did the first issue of Aberrant, and then unfortunately had to jump off because he and I sold, along with another a really prolific, interesting director named Ryan Colucci, we sold an animated series.
That's right.
That is kind of a samurai western mashup called Orient City.
Okay.
There's a short online that's just phenomenal. And
Samurai City, you said?
It's called Orient City.
Orient City.
Which is kind of a samurai western mashup.
Okay.
And it's just really, just amazing world building. It's what Hollywood's looking for right now. And the streaming services in particular were all over it. So John Bohr had to jump off to animate and co-direct with Ryan Colucci this film, and if I can break a little news on your podcast, the breaking news, the good news about Aberrant, again, my book that is available for order in April and in stores in June. Because of that, because of this relationship I developed with John Bohr and with Ryan, the same company, the same machine is now they're looking at turning Aberrant into an animated series. So that's happening. And,
congratulations.
And hopefully, hopefully it goes to the next level and everything. We'll see. But
if it goes next level, you could be the sidekick.
I will absolutely. Maybe in the second season, I will make them draw me as a sidekick. That's the thing is, hey, Action Lab, let's get Action Lab signed on for 10 issues of Aberrant. So issue 11, I'm debuting as the sidekick if there's an issue 11. So Action Lab, make it happen. # make Riley a sidekick. You heard it here first.
That's right.
Hall H podcast.
Cool.
Let's do it.
I guess with that, we'll start closing out the show. Is there anything that we missed that you'd like our audience to know about?
No, man. You do a great job. Go buy Aberrant. Listen to the Hall H podcast. The Hall H show, as it were. Yeah. You guys are doing great work. Get Aberrant. It's going to be awesome. You're not going to regret it. I promise you. You'll love it. It's a kick in the junk, a kick in the teeth. It's a smooth glass of bourbon.
Ooh, I love bourbon. What are you doing after the con today?
We'll talk. We should talk off. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, signing off from WonderCon 2018. It's Aaron from the Hall H Show, and my special guest here, Rylend Grant, who will, I guess he's tied right now for the most appearances.
I need more appearances.
Yeah.
I'm just going to start like photobombing your interviews. I'll just be like walking around in the background like Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah.
Aberrant works every time. Listen to William D. Williams.
That's right. Cool. I guess we'll hopefully see you soon, and definitely at San Diego Comic-Con, right?
San Diego Comic-Con,
okay.
Yeah. Hopefully I'm doing some panels there.
All right,
guys.
Cheers. Talk to you later.
Yep.